I think what I'm going to do is, if you're okay, I'm going to get this thing off so the folks at home, people at home can hear what it is that we're saying.
Right.
Whew, breathe now, man.
Yeah. Oof.
Hey, well, we appreciate everyone. Had an opportunity, and we have an opportunity today to ride along with a pretty cool guy who I got to know really, really well recently. His name's Officer Dave Carlson. He's a 23-year vet. 23-year vet in our North Division. He's responsible, a community coordinator in Response Area 3. Just your captain. My gosh, I don't know what you paid the guy, but he's got some just tremendous things to say about you and your work ethic and your drive and your commitment out here. Talk about this response area of yours that we're cruising through now before we start talking about you a little bit. Response Area 3.
Yeah, Response Area 3 is a pretty diverse population. It's got a lot of major roads through our division, and we have highways. I-85 connects with it. A lot of great business owners and great citizens live in this area.
Yeah, tremendous people that really count on you. And it gets dicey out there sometimes too. A lot of shooting into homes.
Yep.
A lot of gun assaults.
Yeah, shooting into occupied dwellings is really big in our division, and so we've been busy with that also.
Yeah. How long have you been here in the North?
I've been in the North Division now 11 years.
Yeah, 11 years. Again, 23 years on. He's got a twisty-turny kind of trajectory that he's taken. Grew up in New York.
Yep, Rochester, New York.
Yeah, Rochester,
actually, Greece, New York is where I grew up. But yeah, suburb of Rochester.
Yeah, really good people up in that blue-collar area. Just a tremendous area.
Yep.
So you go there, you go to school there. Actually, go to the military, right? Go right out of high school. Spent you had a cup of coffee in college. So
yeah, a cup of coffee in college.
Yeah, the same for me, right? You
Exactly.
He couldn't keep still.
Yeah, I couldn't pay attention. Realized I was definitely not ready for college, and then enlisted in the Navy.
Yeah, can we turn that down a smidge?
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, he's got his ear to the radio too.
I'm old.
Yeah, Mr. Trick, and my eyes too, ears and eyes. So yeah, he goes into the Navy.
Yep.
Cool story in the Navy. This guy says, "All right, I'm pretty bad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try this Navy SEAL thing out."
Yeah.
How did that go?
Yeah, it went well. I got accepted. It's just it's a different thing when you're swimming in 50-degree water and your body is definitely getting burnt out every day. And I got sick, and I hate to say it, I wasn't successful in making it, but I learned a lot from it, and probably a better person for having tried it. And not everybody makes it, but
Yeah, very few make it.
Yep.
But even just to endeavor to make it is a monumental achievement of making it as far as you made it. Was it as tough as what?
It's just amazing, and every day it's like something new, and just the amount of work that goes into preparing you for the ultimate thing. War is what they're trying to do is buzzes for weeding out the weak. Yeah. And they do a good job of it. Yeah,
you went all the way up to the as far as you can go, or as far as your body would let you go. You got pneumonia.
Like I said, I went right before Hell Week and got rolled out. And like I said, a lot of people, you start off with a lot of people in it, and not everybody makes it, but the ones that do make it are the reason why that our country is so successful.
Yeah. Hats off to that. Hats off to you. Spending as many years as you did, serving the way that you served, but you didn't stop there. Apparently, it's in your DNA. Service.
Yep.
You kicked around, tried. Maybe I'll try. Applying for a couple of police departments. Charlotte winds up getting back with you.
Yeah.
And you start. 23 years ago.
23 years ago. Very lucky, and I started off. In the academy in January of 1998, and it was just incredible.
Yeah, lots changed over those 23 years, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. What are some of the bigger changes you've seen over the 23 years?
Probably the biggest thing is technology. You start off with cars without computers, and some cars had MDTs, and our car didn't.
What's an MDT for those at home?
Mobile data technician.
Essentially, it's those little computers.
Just a tiny little computer that just gives you very little information, but the ones that were really used to using it, that was like everything. And of course, as a rookie, I just got a blue book, I was like, hey.
Blue book was, for those of you who aren't familiar at home, that was the GPS back in the day. It was the blue book. Essentially, it was a book. It was a blue book with all the addresses of all the areas in town, and kind of summaries of how to
Gave you a
get there.
cross street.
Yeah.
Gave you a cross street, and you'd have to look for the next cross street to get to there. And me being from New York and never having no experience at all, I was like, oh my gosh, this is overwhelming. But you learn it, and you learn to memorize your streets, and and I was assigned to Response Area 1 in Independence Division, and you learn quick, and very fortunate I had really good training officers, and that was the goal, to get better and learn, and I loved it. Had a great time, and I was so proud to be a police officer. That's all I wanted to be, and being able to be in a police car even now, I am so proud that I can say, hey, I enjoy every day. Every day is an adventure, and I'm happy to be here.
23 years in the business, and you still have that kind of ambition, and the luster's still there after 23 years. How do you maintain that? I know people after 3 years that are burnt out.
The thing is you can't let it get that way. I mean, there's stuff that's happening every day, but the thing is you got to have that. Every day is a new day, and like I said, I still take some things from the military, like the SEALs say, the only easy day was yesterday. So you got to try to forget what happened on the day before, and today's a new day. Let's go, and let's try to do some good.
Yeah. What are we seeing? We're on just outside of his response area now. We're cruising up, and what are some of the things that you guys are really having a challenging time with out in your area?
Well, the biggest thing is larceny from autos.
Car break-ins? These are car break-ins, right?
Big time car break-ins, and like I said, and most of them are victims. Their citizens are leaving their car doors unlocked.
Mm-hmm.
They're leaving valuables that are in plain view. They're even leaving guns, which is still surprising to me to this day. We're having people that that think it's really cold in the morning, and they're running in their cars, and we're having stolen vehicles, and it's really surprising to me that it's like, I know they're trying to warm it up for their kids and trying to get things warmed up, but that 2-minute ride, the thing is, your car will be warmed up in 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's staggering, and we see it all the time. It may be inconvenient to walk out to a cold car, but what's even more convenient or inconvenient? We're walking out to no car.
Walking no car.
I mean, that's pretty inconvenient. Yeah, get back on the guns for a second. I want to say it was somewhere in the neighborhood like 800 or so guns just last year alone that was stolen from cars. From cars. And the overwhelming majority of those cars, they were left unlocked. So it's not bad enough that you're going to leave a loaded pistol, and sometimes worse,
right.
AK-47s, AR-15 in a car.
Everything.
Right. But then you're not going to lock it.
Right. Yeah. And you're, like I said, you're leaving it, and some of these, like I said, they're leaving pistols underneath their seats. They're not even in lock boxes. They're literally lock loaded, and where anybody has access. And who's breaking into these cars? Young kids. And they're the ones that are you're putting the guns in these young kids' hands that have no responsibility, never learned how to use a gun. And what they're doing with guns out here is pretty scary.
Well, you are right at the tip of that spear, truth be told. In fact, it was just not too long ago that you broke up or were able to close out 5 robbery cases involving a 16-year-old kid.
Right.
16-year-old kid. You wind up getting out, conducting your field investigation, doing what you do, a lot of communication, a lot of good work. At the end of the day, winds up taking this kid into custody.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
Tell the community what you pulled on.
Well, luckily, we
16.
have 16 years old. We had a very good detective that was able to identify him, and we were familiar with the young man, and went into the area looking for him. Our units were there earlier that morning, knocking on the door, trying to locate him. He was not there at the time, and just through persistence of myself, just driving through the area, luckily I was able to observe him coming out of an apartment complex, and did a vehicle stop. And when I stopped him, I placed him on arrest and found 2 concealed guns on his person.
Loaded?
Loaded. 2
loaded guns on a 16-year-old. Ever determined where those guns came from?
No. Just one of the guns was involved earlier. The 3 people that were in the car were involved in a shooting in University Division, just probably an hour and a half prior to that. And one of the guns came from the victim of that shooting.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be frustrating. When you see this kind of weaponry in the hands of so many young people like this.
It's like, God, if I think about it now, it's like, man, I was pretty stupid to stop that car by myself and not knowing exactly what's going on. But the thing is, you don't know. I mean, sometimes you got to you got to act on it now and not think about the consequences till later. So
Do you do that frequently? Do you go back and hit rewind and say, gosh, maybe that wasn't the best,
I do.
smartest, most tactical decision I could have made?
I do a lot. I do it probably more than I should, and I probably don't even tell my wife, thank God, because she probably would be telling me to retire as quick as possible. But that's what I like out here. I love the challenge, and I love to try to be able to help people out here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're doing a heck of a job out here, and the community just raves about the work that you're doing. Where are we cruising through right now?
We are on Dale Crest, coming up on Tanglewood area, Tanglewood Apartments, Winbrook. This is my main response area, where we spend a lot of our time making sure that trying to reduce the shootings. I've had a lot of shooting and occupied dwellings in this apartment complex, and this is the area where we located the juvenile with the gun, and where we've had a lot of shootings in the area.
I'm going to flip the camera around. So this is the area where you came across that young guy with a gun?
Right. Yep.
With the guns?
With the guns, yes. Yep. He lived in here, and like I said, his mother is a great person and stuff like that. She was very upset, but there's a lot of good people in this neighborhood that are really pushing for us to clean up the community, and we spend a lot of time down here, and there's a lot of great people that are out here every day working hard and trying to do the best they can, and our goal down here is to make it a better life for everybody.
How are you received out here? You hear all this. If you believe what you hear, then I take most things with a grain of salt. That there's not a widespread support for law enforcement these days, especially in African American communities.
Right. I think overall we're taking pretty good. I mean, there's always going to be somebody that's upset with you just because of past experiences with law enforcement officers, but overall, I think everybody is relatively wants us out here and happy. Hey guys, what's up? But it's a good community, and I'm very lucky to be in North Division. I think it has a very diverse population, and everybody is very happy to see the police. I'm very surprised, like I said in the beginning of it last year, in 2020, that all this stuff was going on, and you hear about everybody hating the police and defund the police, but we don't hear it out here, and I think that's why we're lucky.
Yeah. I wonder how much of it is, in the eye of the beholder or just perception. I mean, you're at the tip of the spear, and you don't feel it. You
Right.
feel just as supported, if not more supported.
Exactly, and that's where I am surprised. But the thing is, I'm also glad to come out here and see people smiling at you, waving at you, and that's all that matters to me.
Yeah. At the end of the day, right? I mean, we're only as good as the community that we're serving, and we're only as successful as they'll allow us to be, and that's going to involve us or require us to engage. And it sounds like you're doing a lot of engaging out here.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is you got to be in the area to help out, and if you're not in the area, you're not going to do what you can. And as officers, we have to, as a coordinator, our goal is to be in the community as much as possible to help prevent the next crime, and to be out here. And like I said, if people are upset with you, I don't see it.
Unlike a lot of other major cities, these are single officer patrol units for the most part. Right. Here in Charlotte-Mecklenburg, and we appreciate everyone who is tuning in and trying to give you a little bit of familiarity about how the department's structured. One officer patrol units, that can get a little dicey for you, could it not?
Right, and they train you in the academy that you always wait for your backup on domestics and stuff like that. And when you're out here and you might drive up on something, you have to act on it. Your backup's not going to be there. And we're lucky that it's a small division. Well, we're the largest division, still small enough where we have officers that are close by to back you up if something really hits the fan quickly. But the thing is we, with our training experience, we're taught how to handle situations, and you got to be confident out here.
Confident? Are you confident?
Yeah.
But I think I'd be, most of us, maybe naive to think that there haven't been occasions where you've been scared before.
Oh yeah, if you've never been scared, you're lying. I mean, I think being scared kind of keeps you motivated. I mean, right now I'm a one officer out here, and the thing is I have to have some kind of confidence. But the thing is, fear keeps you honest also.
Yeah. Well, it certainly, keeps you on your game, on your toes, and you don't rest on your laurels and take things for granted, for
Right.
sure. For sure. We're pulling in now. It looks like, if I'm seeing the signs correctly, it's Woodstone.
Yep.
This is an area that you've had some challenges in.
Right. Yeah.
Recently, historically,
we've gone for some turnovers.
You slip it around so the community can see what it is that we're seeing. Now I remember Woodstone last year. I mean, that you had that.
The shootout.
Oh, I mean, that was. I'll put the video up for the folks at home to see. I mean, that was incredible. You had several people, broad daylight, in this apartment complex. I don't know what prompted it, but I know how it ended. It ended with a barrage of shots. There were, dozens of, community members out here. Apartments that were shot into. There were children out here. Everybody was just scattering.
Right.
And I mean, it looked like Beirut.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked horrible out
here.
Yeah,
very scary. And we had some officers that were close by to actually get out of here quick and act quickly and stop some vehicles and make some arrests. But I mean, there were several apartments that were shot into, and we're lucky that we didn't have any major injuries and no one was killed either, at the most, in this area.
And it's shootings like that, as egregious as they are, that's exactly the thing that you and your team, you guys are trying to prevent, or at least, at the very least, minimize, right?
And I think our city has, developed a SID task force that have gone out and done some great things. Shooting
into occupied dwelling task force is what he just referenced. And when he says shooting into occupied dwelling, essentially means to try to stop houses from being shot into. When the charge is, or the offense is shooting into occupied dwelling, but it really means someone's home or car or shed that's being occupied at the time. And they started a task force because the numbers were starting to blossom to the extent that they were. And that's, look, if you can't feel safe, secure in your own home, I mean, it's your safe haven.
Right. And the thing is you have a lot of innocent people, neighbors in here that have no idea what's happening, and all of a sudden, in the middle of the night, middle of the day, shots are being shot into your house. And we're lucky that more people haven't been killed, because they're literally, people are sleeping, little kids are in their cribs and in beds, and bullets are going over their heads alongside them, and we've been very fortunate that we haven't had more people killed.
Hey, flip back on the on what you were saying about support. No elephant in the room. What has developed over the last year, the social justice reform demonstrations, riots in some areas, right? You're at home. If I remember you telling me this correctly, you were banged up. You blew your shoulder out. So you're at home. You're watching this all from your living room, or you're down at the beach or something like that. You're watching this and you're saying what? You're like, what the devil's going on?
Yeah, I'm like, and all I can think about is, like, here I am on light duty, and I'm glad I'm with my family, but then again, my other family is getting ready to be on the streets for 12-hour shifts, and they're going to be protesters storming the streets of Charlotte, and it's nerve-wracking, because I want to be there, but then again, I know there's no way with my shoulder. I couldn't even lift my arm above my head, and it's hard. But the thing is luckily we have great officers, and they were there to hold the line.
You're saying to yourself, now does this surprise you when you see this kind of bubble up?
Not anymore, I think.
And as big as it was, not even just here in Charlotte, around the world. You just doesn't take you by surprise that it came to that?
Not anymore. I mean, it
was because you saw the Floyd video and you're like, holy, this is going to be bad?
Right. And then, after 2016, I think it was, at the last protest, it seems like it's going to be an ongoing thing, that we're going to have protests every few years. And, I hope I'm wrong. I just, but the thing is it's very tough on officers, and it's long hours, and it's very tough.
You think that dissuades people from getting into the profession when they see what developed over the last year? Because no other big secret is the recruitment issue challenge that not only we have in Charlotte but across the country for police departments. I'm sure
it has a lot to do with it. I mean, how can it not? I mean, it's all you see on the news. That how the officers have been treated, and but the thing is you can't let that dissuade you saying, hey, I don't want to be a cop because of that. If you want to be a cop, you're going to be a cop. I mean, if it's in your heart, you're going to do it.
What's the biggest misunderstanding about the profession?
That we don't care. I mean, that we're only out here, just taking reports, and that's all we care about, writing tickets, and that's not true. We really care about the people, and we care about the kids, and we want to see what we had. We want to make sure everybody has the same thing, and that they're actually have a chance of living their dreams and doing what they want to do and being out here, but we want to make sure the community's safe.
Your captain told me that Carlson's, he's got a sharp tongue. When he sees somebody that's cutting a corner, a cop that's cutting a corner or not doing things the right way, you have no aversion to calling them out on it and addressing it.
Yeah, sometimes I might be my weakness, but I don't know. I haven't gotten in trouble for it, so I guess some supervisors like it. But I try to come out here and try to hold everybody accountable. And like I said, I don't want to see anybody get hurt for somebody that's not doing what they're supposed to do out here. And I've always called people out. Maybe some people don't like it, but if you don't like it, that means you're doing something wrong.
And I guess you find it that it's your responsibility as a senior officer, 23 years, right in this seat, that you have a responsibility to
right.
get involved and point out things that could make someone better.
Right. I mean, and like I said, I've always been out here. I've always been to work on time. I've never a day I've been late. I've always showed up to work on time, and I expect everyone else to be held accountable too.
How about you? So family guy, wife, and by the way, I think if I'm not overstepping, I think you married up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Mechanical engineer.
Mechanical engineer. She's smart, intelligent, and able to make her own decisions, and puts me in my place a lot. So it's a good relationship. I'm very, very lucky, and like I said, she's ready for me to retire. But then again, she also knows that this has always been my dream as being a police officer. And like I said, luckily I'm in the last part of my career here, and in 2.5 years I can retire.
Yeah, 13-year-old daughter, 11-year-old son.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like they're heading down the legal path themselves, but in maybe a little bit different of a trajectory. Attorneys, maybe?
Yeah, I would love exactly. I would love to have them be attorneys. They're very smart in school. They take after their mom. They work hard, and like I said, their grades are everything right now, and I'm very, very lucky.
You talked about the inherent dangers, risk of the profession, and how there have been officers who've lost their lives in the profession. Does that ever creep into your mind when you're suiting up and you're getting out,
No.
saying, as I'm rolling out here, this could be the last time I roll out?
Never.
Really?
Never had that. I think if you dwell on that, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long career.
So it's never crept into your mind?
Never. Never. I never thought I'd putting on this, and it could be the last time I kiss my wife or I never thought about that, because I think if you're thinking about that, I think it's going to be weighing on you, and I don't want that thought. And I come out here and I do a lot of good, but the thing is if I think about, well, this guy right here might have a gun, I mean, I think it's going to be tougher on you, because every day you're going to be thinking about that, and I don't want to think about it.
Well, I think you guys come into this with the right kind of headspace too, right?
And my lieutenant has us doing really good things. He wants us to be proactive, and the only way you can be proactive is if you're driving through your area and trying to help out the community and trying to be there for people.
Speaking of people and being there for people, the big knock, or at least the narrative that's been painted by some people, whether it's on social media and other places, is the divide between the African American community and police, and that this is a profession that's just rooted in systemic racism in the way that they deliver enforcement and serve. Your thoughts there?
I don't see it. I've worked with a lot of African American officers. We've always worked around the African American community. We always been there for each other. I think everybody realizes that there's problems in society, but overall, I don't see it out here. I think our community is number one. They still look at us as like, hey, you guys are out doing a good job. We don't feel the way the news sees you guys, and they have no interest at all in defunding the police. And I think we're out here doing a good job. I don't think there's racism everywhere, but I can honestly say that I haven't worked with one officer that has been racist.
How about you? How about you? The way that you perform and you carry out your responsibilities every day. Does race ever have kind of any kind of impact on how you work?
No, I have never said I'm going to go in this community and harass this race of people. We have every nationality, race in this community, and I try to treat everyone with respect and kindness. We have a great community. I think their overall goal in policing is to help people. So and
what drives it? What drives this narrative? That we don't care, that police are just systemically racist, and the profession is systemically racist. What drives that whole narrative?
I think the media. I think the media, and I hate to say some of the politicians that are above everybody, but if you come down to the grassroots where we're at, we're working hard every day. The citizens of Charlotte are working hard every day. I don't see it. I mean, we're here to provide a service to the community, and I think overall, Charlotte's doing a great job.
Does it make it harder when that narrative starts to really get some traction and people start believing that it becomes perception?
Yeah,
Does it make it harder to work? Does it make it harder to connect in the community when you're being told, or the community's being told time and time again, that this is a profession rooted in systemic racism?
I'm sure it does. I mean, I think we're overall lucky that we've heard it. We've taken classes on it, but I've come out here where I don't see it. And the thing is we hear it in the media, we hear it, in training that, state law enforcement training and everything, that there's systemic racism going on in the police department. Well, they might say it's going on, but we don't see it.
You're not seeing it at all?
We're out here. No, we're not here, pinpointing one race, saying, the police are after this one race in this community. My goal is to prevent crime, and if I'm driving to an area and I see something, it's not because of race, it's because something's crime is afoot. I mean, so our job is to stop it. And if we're not out here, I don't know what would happen.
Well, what would happen if you weren't out here? Because your response area specifically, overwhelmingly African American,
right,
in pockets of it, and they are overwhelmingly victimized at a pretty high rate when it comes to violent crime. So to your point, what if you're not out here? What happens to them, those vulnerable members of the community?
Be more victims. Be more victims. To be, I don't know. Like I said, we're already been talking about how short we are in officers, and then more and more officers are retiring. We're not bringing as many officers to the police academy. It's scared, but like I said, that's making us work harder. I think we're out here and trying to do the best we can with the resources we have.
That's Officer Dave Carlson, 23-year veteran in our North Division, Response Area 3, works his rear end off. Retired military, right? Retired?
Just a veteran,
Okay.
4.5-year veteran.
Yeah, Navy, and father of two, a 13-year-old girl, an 11-year-old boy, a wife who is a mechanical engineer, and just
married for 15
worries
years
about him. And if you see Dave out here in the community, and I hope you do, you probably will if you're out here in this community, because he's just always out here in this community, right? You work quite a bit. Say hey to Dave. Good stand-up guy who's really doing tremendous work for the community. Dave's just one of many, just a plethora of men and women with the organization, Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department. And when I got everybody now, speaking of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department, we are hiring, right?
We are hiring.
Yeah, we are hiring. We are looking for the young, the best, the brightest, anyone who's interested in pursuing a career and serving something bigger than themselves, and all the while maybe working for one of the more premier law enforcement agencies in the country. Pretty good gig. Get paid to connect and serve something bigger than yourself. Starting salary just a little bit north, $40,000. Not bad. 30-year retirement, health benefits. I mean, I can go just down the laundry list of all the perks associated with it, but there's probably no greater perk, again, than serving a community, serving something big. Yeah, that's where it's at. CharlottePoliceJobs.org. CharlottePoliceJobs.org. Go ahead, get on the website, take a look. It'll walk you through the whole process, what it'll take to get you into that training academy, 6 months through that training academy, and before you know it, you'll be out here, a guardian in our community, just like this guardian who was kind enough to let us ride along with him for just a little bit of his shift today. Hey, you be careful, man.
Definitely, thank you. Appreciate that.
Be careful. Best to you and your family, and you know, we look forward to seeing you out here up in the North Division, Dave.
Great. Well, I appreciate it so much.
We appreciate everyone at home.
Thank you.
Take care.